Do you guys remember the last time I attempted to let's play an entire game in one sitting? 'Cause I sure as heck do! Fun times, fun times. Anyway, enough being around the bush, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rainiac. Welcome to Let's Play WWF Betrayal in one sitting. Now, a lot of you out there might think I've lost my tiny mind because I'm going to be let's playing a wrestling game. Let me assure you this is not the case. It may have WWF in its title, but this is about as far removed from a traditional wrestling game as you could possibly hope to get. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but first, the character selection screen with a choice of 4 different playable characters. In obvious order, we've got The Rock, Triple H, The Undertaker, and my personal choice for this, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And when I say personal choice, I mean it, because unfortunately, the characters in this game don't really differ that much. They have different dialogue as you go through the game with them, but it's not enough to warrant playing through the game 4 times. It's hardly enough to warrant going through the game once with a character, but never mind. And there's a couple of other gameplay differences that I'll get to in a second. Anyway, we have an opening cutscene of a sort anyway. We're Steve Austin and we're facing Triple H for the WWF title, and we're doing really quite well. In fact, we've nearly beaten him. We've got him on the ropes, as the announcer says. And I have 3 gripes about this opening cutscene then. 1, this rendition of Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music is atrocious. 2, the announcer is just credited as announcer, not as Jim Ross, who it would be at this period of time. The game came out in 2001. But more importantly, that looks nothing like Triple H. He looks more like Greg the Hammer Valentine, for crying out loud. Not that there's anything wrong with that, anyway. Anyway, we're almost about to beat Hunter here, and then suddenly a rubbish bin hits us in the back of the head, he pedigrees us into the mat, and that's the end of that chapter. I suppose technically that was a disqualification victory for us, but as any wrestling fan worth their salt will tell you, you can't win the belt or a disqualification. It was The Rock that threw the trash can, and for some reason he likes to wear his sunglasses indoors, because why not? Also, I love the fact that the developers didn't give Triple H a proper animation for getting out of the ring there, so instead he squats down in the centre, then super jumps like he's Luigi from Super Mario Bros. 2, vaults the ropes in one leap, and then lands on the concrete floor, and he's absolutely fine because of that. On the bright side, this is not the original Sin Cara doing that, because I'm pretty sure he would have broken his leg in the attempt. And you can't go behind the ring here because limitations for Game Boy Color game. So anyway, Stone Cold is pretty ticked off at being screwed out of the title like that. So ticked off, he's actually going to miss all the attacks. I'm an amazing player at this game, by the way, guys. What he's actually going to do is take out these completely innocent referees. As you can tell, as I said, this is not a wrestling game, it's a beat-em-up. A common garden beat-em-up. Now, if you run into the locker room here, you'll find Mr. McMahon. Sometimes known as Vince McMahon, which is his real name, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but he was often referred to as Mr. McMahon on camera. He is the owner and chairman of the WWF, at least he was back in 2001. I believe he still is, but just behind the scenes and no longer on camera. On camera, he's now passed that duty down to his daughter Stephanie McMahon and his son-in-law Triple H, Stephanie's husband. Because, you know, that's how son-in-law relationships work. And speaking of Stephanie, it turns out that she has actually been kidnapped and he needs us to go and rescue him. Because, you know, if I was the owner of a multi-billion-dollar wrestling corporation, I would totally pick the guy who I'd had a highly publicised on and off feud with for the past 3 years to be the one that rescued her. I'm just saying. But Vince is going to make it worth our while, because if we do manage to get Stephanie back to him, wait for it, this is a doozy of a reason, he'll give us... Wait for it. He'll give us another shot at the WWF title. No, I'm not making that up. And so begins perhaps the most flimsy excuse for a beat-em-up I've ever seen. Yes, this is a beat-em-up and here are the controls. You can move left, right, up and down. A punches, B kicks. Select does nothing at all. If you double tap left and right, you can run. If you're running, you can do a kick. And that's it. No jumping, no blocking, no screen clearing special moves. Final Destination. No, sorry, I kind of messed that up, but never mind. I was supposed to say Steve Austin only Final Destination. Never mind. So yeah, beat 'em up with very simplistic controls. We're going around beating up referees and security guards for some reason. Perhaps they're part of the conspiracy. I don't really know. The game doesn't really explain this. It doesn't really have that much of a story besides Steffi's been kidnapped, go get her back. I'll just talk a little bit about the gameplay then. You can beat up these lockers to find food items. An apple will replenish 1 health. That soda can, funnily enough, is actually the best item you can get. It replenishes the maximum amount of health. Not all of it. And if I can line up my shot properly, these crits will kill enemies in 1 shot. Well, it'll kill those enemies in 1 shot. I really don't want to get hit by that guy because I've managed to build up my special meter. You'll notice these red flashing bars. Now, theoretically, you're supposed to be able to go to some of the bigger enemies in the game, like this referee, hit them once, and then you'll do a finishing maneuver. Thank you for that, game. Each character has a different finishing maneuver. Stone Cold has his Stone Cold Stunner, as you just saw. Triple H has his Pedigree, as you saw in the opening cutscene. The Undertaker has a Choke Slam. And The Rock, for some strange reason, doesn't do the Rock Bottom, which was his tried and tested finishing maneuver in WWF. Instead, he does a Spine Buster, or at least a close approximation of one. Now, in theory, you're supposed to be able to build up your meter, and then when it's at full, you can unleash the finisher by hitting one of those enemies. However, I said in theory for a reason, because in practice, the game just lets you do the finishing maneuver whenever it feels like it. Also, great game design in action here, folks. You can't see me, because I'm behind this foreground object, and therefore, I'm completely invisible. That is not good game design, Way Forward. And yes, I did say Way Forward, and that name should be quite familiar to you if you've played enough video games like I have. This was actually their first game that I've seen them credited on, but they went on to make Shantae, a rather underrated game for the Game Boy Color, and actually that's just had a sequel, or a couple of sequels out for Steam and WiiWare. I think one's called Risky's Revenge, but don't quote me on that. Also another object that you can hide behind. More importantly though, Way Forward also worked on a little game called DuckTales Remastered. And I've got that in my Steam games, and it is amazing, and everyone should play it. Seriously, I lost my special. That's a rude dude. He hit me in the face with, I'm assuming that's a steel pipe. Yeah, seriously, DuckTales Remastered is a great game. I forgot to get the health item there, never mind. And now we come to the elephant in the room here. The music. It's not very good, I'm sorry to say. Alright, in certain levels it's not very good, such as this one. And you might think I'm being also concentrating to get past these Steam pillars, because it literally is a crapshoot. The timing is completely random on them. Take that. Yeah. What was I going to say about the music? Oh yeah, it's not very good. And you might think I'm just picking on this game because it's a Game Boy game, therefore, portable system, the music can't be that great. Well, I'm sorry, that's not an excuse. Wario Land, the original Wario Land, is a Game Boy game from 1993. Also, don't tase me, bro. God damn it. 2 of them. Yeah, I can take on 2 of them. That's a fair fight. Yeah, give me an apple hidden in that transformer. Why don't you? Get wrecked. Thank you. Yeah, Wario Land came out in 1993, that's got some good music. The Pokemon games came out before this game, that's got some great music. So I'm taking the liberty of doing something I don't usually do. I'm actually going to replace some of this music with something a bit better. I won't actually have picked what the bit better. Also, I nearly got through that when I got hit by Steve. I haven't chosen what the music will be yet because I'm going to add it in post-production. But chances are you won't be hearing the in-game music, which is not very good. You'll be hearing something a lot better. I can't promise that, because I can't promise I won't just be lazy and go, you know what, to hell with it. Did you see that collision? I just booted through that guy's stomach. Yeah, the collision detection in this game is not so great. So you might be wondering, why the hell am I playing it then? Well, the game's ALP tend to come in 3 different varieties. They're either games that I have played in my past that I feel are good enough to play again for you, my audience. Did you see that? Oh, this is not good times. This is Bad News Bears, Walter Matthau, right here. Oh. Look at my health. It's a lot lower than it should be. Yeah, the games I played, 3 different varieties. However, games that I've played in my past that I feel are good enough to get another showing here for the guys on my channel. The guys on my channel, what am I? They're obscure games that haven't really been covered that much, and I feel kind of deserve a look, or they're absolutely terrible. This game is a little bit of column B and an awful lot from column C, as evidenced by this damn collision detection that I can't seem to work for Toffee in my favour. Also, these security guards we're beating up, they kind of remind me of the Big Boss Man, who worked for the WWF in the late 80s, early 90s, then he took a break, left, went to WCW, big mistake, came back in the late 90s with a completely different look. The reason those guards to me resemble Big Boss Man is the sunglasses, the blue clothing, they've even got the yellow stripe down the back of their trousers. Well, I suppose it's an orange stripe, but I'm sort of colourblind. And now, over to the right here, we have more enemies. I kind of jumped the gun, I thought there was a boss fight. The boss fight's going to destroy me, by the way, because I've taken way too many hits. Not entirely of my doing, because as I said, the collision detection is not very good. You saw me kick through that guy's stomach earlier. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, over to the right here, we have our game's first boss fight of a sort. A cutscene initiates then, and The Rock is kidnapping Stephanie McMahon. He lifts her into the boot of a limousine. When I say lifts her, he literally lifts her over his head and then slams her down into the boot of the limousine. That can't be comfortable for her, but given the fact that he's trying to kidnap her, I'm guessing her comfort is not foremost on his mind right now. We also have The Undertaker showing up. I say The Undertaker because he looks nothing like The Undertaker does in real life. I know he was the American Badass during this time frame, but looks nothing like him. Anyway, as I say, we do have a boss fight. We get to go one-on-one with the great one, The Rock. See what I did there? Anyone who doesn't watch wrestling will not see what I did there at all. I've got to be kind of careful to not make too many wrestling-related puns and references. Wrestling-related references, yeah. That's a new one on me. So anyway, boss fights. They're all the same, unfortunately. It's just you one-on-one with a wrestler. And there are two ways to do it. You can just go toe-to-toe with a guy, but considering I've got less health than I should have, that's not an option. Instead, what you've got to do is hit and run. Wait for him to come towards you, and then when you've built up your finishing bar, you can do a finishing maneuver. You can actually do two of them. See, that's why you don't go toe-to-toe. Because you get stunned. I'm now at 4 health, so the next time I get hit, I'll get stunned. If he got in close, he can actually do his finishing maneuver, which is what makes his boss fights a little more dangerous. So I'm going to attempt to hit and run. But unfortunately the game says, you know what? You can't run, Rainiac. You can't escape The Rock. No one can escape The Rock. He's a Hollywood movie star. What are you? Just a LP who LPs games in his spare time. You don't even release more than one video a week. Wow, I got kind of harsh on myself there, didn't I? Running in can work. Oh, I've got him stunned. And then, of course, he shakes it off, because he's a champ. He wasn't like a 6-time champ? Gotcha! Stone Cold Stunner and you're out. That took a lot more than I was hoping it to. Fortunately, this level's not too bad. Now I said that, I'm probably going to get killed outright. This is not going to be like a perfect run of this game by any means. I'm just playing it to show you how bad it is, and yet I still kind of enjoy it. Also, I've got my hands on a weapon. I guess it's a steel pipe. We'll try that again. Excuse me? Oh my god. Okay, I had in my hands a steel pipe. And that would actually kill enemies in one hit. Those weaker enemies, like the guys with the chains. They don't look that way, did they? Because they just took me to the cleaners. And now they're doing it again. Oh. Right. What was meant to happen was I was meant to keep that pipe and use it on this lady who looks like a suntanned Captain Syrup from Wario Land. Wario Land getting quite a few mentions today, isn't it? Now, we can't pass this chasm, unfortunately, so we have to climb a ladder. Prepare yourself for the greatest ladder climbing sprite of all time. There it is. Actually, the Rock and Triple H sprites are even better because they're just wearing trunks, so you can sort of see the developers' attempts. Oh, I got a weapon. A nightstick. Which is completely irrelevant because I have to go down this ladder, and when you do that, it disappears. I hate that in games. In beat-em-ups, because I've played quite a few beat-em-ups, but games in general, I don't like it when you drop a weapon and it instantly disappears. Also, be careful of this rubbish bin, because, or I suppose trash can to give it its proper term. No, you know what? I'm British. I'll stick to rubbish bin. We don't really have trash cans. Well, we kind of do. I was about to say that actually can lead to a game-breaking glitch. At least it did in one of my failed attempts at recording this. Also, she's just kicking the air. I shouldn't really laugh at that because she's going to probably turn around and kick my ass. But basically, if you go too far with that trash can in your hand, it will despawn. But the game thinks that you're still holding on to it. Also, you can shimmy up this tree to get an apple to replace your health, which I kind of need right now. The game thinks you're still holding on to the trash can. There you go, I did it again. The game is still holding on to the weapon then. And so, You can punch and kick, but you won't actually do any damage to enemies. Did she just run it into my face? I think she did, and did damage to me. That's the end of that level then, but never mind. The point is, you soft lock the game, you have to die. And there's another game-breaking glitch here, which I'm hoping to not show off, because I don't want to do that. Level 4 is the subway, and this is perhaps my least favourite level of the entire game. For one specific reason, it will become very apparent. Also, thank you for the weapon that I'll probably only get to keep for the next 20 seconds. I'm not like I'm going to put a timer on it or anything like that, but I'm telling you, it'll be maximum of 20 seconds. Also, the health items in this game... Thank you for spawning. The health items in this game are randomly generated. I mean, they're always in the same location, but sometimes you get an apple, sometimes you get that soda can. I know it looks like a battery, but it's a soda can. That guy right there is the worst part of this game. He carries a briefcase, and he can shoot you. And I don't even care that I got hit there, because he gave me health anyway. But yeah, since when were accountants with bullet-firing briefcases in wrestling? There was actually a wrestling taxman in the 90s, played by a guy called Mike Rotundo. Is it Mike Rotundo? He's got like 2 sons who are currently in WWE. One of them is playing Bray Wyatt, who's easily one of my favourite characters in wrestling at the moment, but enough about that. Yeah, Mike Rotundo played a character called Owen R. Shyster, which was abbreviated to IRS. Even he didn't shoot you because you didn't pay your taxes. God damn it. And now there's more of them. And they are so hard to line up. Actually, I managed to do it quite well there. There's 2 of them. Look at that. Look at that crap! How the hell are you supposed to combat in a game where you can't block, you can't jump, you can't do anything except punch, kick and run forward? How on earth are you supposed to deal with bullet-firing accountants? Seriously, way forward? I like you because he nearly beat me there, he nearly soft-locked me into killing me. It's at the end of the train now, there's 1 or 2 more compartments. I mean, these guys are nothing. But the bullet-firing guys are just the worst. And also when she spawns right through my sprite. Not spawn, faces right through my sprite. I'm making heavy weather of this, it's not as hard. Except when you get ganged up on, like I was about to there. I apologise if I'm babbling at this point. I was about to say the health items are randomly generated. And an interesting thing, actually, the apples you'd think would do the most health replenishing for you. Health replenishing. The apples you think would give you the most health back. I'm still not used to live commentary, am I? But actually, they do the least. They give you one item. They give you 1 bar of health back. The battery / soda can gives you the most. So, is this game saying that unhealthy food is better for you than apples? Just something to point out there. There's also cake, which kind of proves my point. Anyway, we now run into the second boss, the Undertaker. He might beat me just because I took such a pounding in that level. But I'll try and beat him first time. He looks definitely like The Undertaker, as I've already stated, but at least they included the Make You Famous line because he was famous for saying that. Oh, that is very helpful. Actually, I said that the items are randomly generated. There's 1 or 2 occasions. Could you come up to me? Thanks. Taker, come on. Make me famous by punching me in the face. There's 1 or 2 occasions in this game where the items are not randomly generated. That's why you don't go toe-to-toe with the bosses. I'm going to have to try and bait it. Yes, just punch the air, Undertaker. Thanks for that. The running can work, but then he just chokeslams you into oblivion. Actually, if I can get him to stun me, it can actually work to my advantage. Oh, please tell me I can sissy fight my way into there. And when you get stunned, when you get down to 4 health or less, you can mash the buttons to replenish it quicker. So the problem now is I'm trying to build up my... Never mind, because he's wrecking me here. God damn it. I'm trying to build up my special... When he's on a run, don't even bother trying to attack him. And the drop kick... I assume it's meant to be a drop kick, but it's just a running version of the Hulk Hogan Big Boot. Because you know, no wrestler in the history of wrestling ever did a big boot after Hulk Hogan. Proven fact. Some people are going to be like, what the hell is the commentary on this? And some people are going to be loving it because they're wrestling fans. I do watch wrestling. He's got me. He's got... What the hell was that? Slam dunk the funk? What the hell was that? Oh yeah, thank you for the warning, game. Yeah, thanks. Just have him run directly at me, why don't you? I should have expected that, to be honest. To be honest, I'm kind of happy that I got to The Undertaker, got as far as The Undertaker before the game kicked my ass. Sometimes The Rock kills me just because I have so little health. You know what? We're not playing this game. Technically the game is Triple H, but we're not playing this game. Another thing to point out, if I could... Right before the special too. You know what? Don't even care anymore. I'm going to beat him by hook or by crook. Get stunned, get out of my face. God damn it, Undertaker, why do you have to be such a pain in the arse? The bosses are actually different depending on the character you play as, because you can't fight yourself. Well, unless you're playing Street Fighter or any other fighting game where mirror matches are available. You know what? Ignore me. If you're playing as The Rock, then you would face Austin where we fought The Rock. Undertaker is still in the same place. If you're playing as The Undertaker, The Rock is here, and Austin is the first fight you play. First fight you do. If you're playing as Triple H, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin you have to beat for the title, and The Rock is his henchman. And I think that's it, isn't it? Yes, it is. Anyway, we get the location of Stephanie's whereabouts from a beaten Undertaker. He says Titan Towers. Real place. It's the real headquarters of WWF, now WWE, because they lost a lawsuit to the World Wrestling. They are the World Wrestling Federation, or they were. They lost a lawsuit to the World Wildlife Fund because that company didn't want their big giant pandas confused with horrible sweaty wrestlers. And this is where the difficulty ramps up even higher. Especially if you get gangbanged. Sorry, wrong choice of phrase. Especially if you get ganged up on by these two guys. And also guys coming out of doors out of nowhere. Those tasers, god damn it. Also, these water coolers, is it just me? Or do they look like Diglett? Like the Pokemon Diglett? Apple. That's exactly what I wanted, game. At this point, if I can get through this without game overing, I'll be very happy. Because you only have 5 lives, and you do have continues. Another apple, really? The RNG is not on my side today. You do have continues, but you start from the beginning of the level that you last died at. And some of these levels can be quite long. Well, actually, that's a lie. They're quite long in the context of the game. The game itself is very short. If you're playing competently, and I highlight the word competently, you can probably beat this in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes. I know it's a Game Boy game, but it's short even for that. It's probably going to take me a little longer. Although you're probably not going to see that, because I'm probably just going to edit out any future failures from here to the end of the game. Possibly. And I have played a lot of beat-em-ups. This certainly isn't the worst beat-em-up I've ever played, that's for sure, but it's far from the best. If I do like going around and braiding people with steel pipes or booting them in the face Hulk Hogan style. Wait, I already made that joke, damn it. What was that beeping? Actually, you won't be able to hear that beeping because I've probably edited out the music at this point. You know what? If you want to line up and get smashed, that's fine by me. You have to die. Thank you. And you can't take the weapon into another section of the level, unfortunately. And now we have, because it's a beat-em-up, what else? An elevator section. You can't smash the controls, unfortunately, to get health. And these enemies. I'm not sure what these guys are. Bandana-wearing dancers? Midgets? Answers on a postcard, please. I hope that wasn't offensive to short people, if any people are watching that, by the way. Oh, you're really covering your bases there. I hope that's not offensive. These guys hit like a truck, my god. Did you see how much health that punch took off? Now, the strategy for dealing with these guys, you want to just run up to them and kick them, but it can get difficult because sometimes they can actually corner you. They can get on either side of you, and you can actually lose a lot of health very quickly. Also, I could have sworn that this guy's supposed to be joined by a buddy, but I guess he decided not to spawn. More stunners for you, I guess. I still haven't got used to live commentary. I'm hoping to get used to it by the time I do the full LP in November that I advertised on that video I did last Friday. You know, the here's an announcement. Oh, there's the second guy. I was trying to do a glitch there where you could actually stun 2 enemies at once and kill them. He did the second guy was at full health. Yeah, this is the problem. Mash the buttons because he's in my sprite. Is he gonna kill me? Is he gonna kill me? I have no idea. No, he didn't. Thank God. I hit him in the face before that happened, but I am now very, very weak to take on the final level, which is, I forget what it was called, Headquarters. I suppose they already used the Titan Towers line. And this level introduces a new enemy. Her! Kung Fu Secretary, I guess. Kung Fu Gymnast Secretary. You see that backflip? That's very impressive. It's kind of odd, actually. Oh, my God. Now that was a double team right there. The accountant or wherever he is, out of nowhere. I suppose that's what I get for running forward. Let's try and take her on. Because actually, if you can lock her into a pattern, it's extremely easy. Oh, and she made me drop my weapon. Here he comes. But I'm ready for you this time, buddy. I'm not ready for you this time, buddy, because... Yeah, he shot me through my invincibility frames. That's perfectly fair, game. That's perfectly fair. And another one. Why am I not surprised? I mean, I have played this game through quite a few times, but just for a bit of, I don't know, authenticity, shall we say, I decided not to do a huge amount of practicing on the day I was going to record it. Also, those secretaries or whatever they are, there's only 3 of them in the entire game, but they hit hard, so don't let them hit you at all if possible. I also haven't pointed out that there are times when the screen will actually lock and you can't move on until you've defeated all the enemies. But by now, you've probably figured that out. Your sister did that to me as well, god damn it. Wow, the boot is surprisingly powerful. If I can keep that for the next step... I'm not gonna be able to... I jinxed myself, didn't I? Okay, you're an accountant. No, you're not. I don't have a thing against accountants in the real life, by the way, in case you think I go around beating people up that are accountants. I don't. I have an accountant myself. They're a very nice team of people. But in this game, they are the worst enemy in the game because they can shoot you with their magic briefcases. Not even the Money in the Bank briefcase can do that for the holder. It's crap. Also, I managed to hold this weapon so long that magic is completely obsolete. And over here we have a rematch with The Rock, which we just wrecked. Actually, we didn't. Now we just wrecked him. I could go back and get that weapon, but there's no point because it just disappears as you go through the door. Also, these pictures here, as the Rock sprite bugs out from lying on the ground. We've got Trish Stratus. I think that's China. And I have no idea who that's supposed to be. Maybe Luna Vachon, just based on what she's wearing. But her hair's not the right colour for Luna. So I have no idea who that's meant to be. Maybe one of you does. Let me know. And through this door here, we have the biggest plot twist of all time. Vince McMahon is corrupt. What a twist. Yes, it was him, Austin. It was him all along, Austin, son of a bitch. Stephanie wasn't kidnapped. It was all a ruse. Yeah, I'm sorry. At this point, I don't really care about the stupid storyline. It's silly, but you know what? I can kind of get over it because it's just a simple beat 'em up. What I can't get over is the terrible collision detection. That's probably going to cost me again. And you might be thinking this is building up to Austin or us, because we wouldn't necessarily be playing as Austin, would we? Because there are 4 different playable characters. Also, I like the way he threw our own motto of don't trust anybody back in our face. You might think that this dialogue is building up to a fight between you and Vince McMahon. I love the way he just picks her up and then lifts her off his shoulder like he's Donkey Kong and then shimmies up the ladder. You might think this is building up to a climactic showdown between Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. If that's what you think, then I'm afraid I've got some bad news. And he just chokeslammed me out of midair. Did you see that? What the hell was that game? He didn't have a special meter. I didn't know he could do that. Oh, I did the Luther's press instead of the stunner. And I want to explore Vince McMahon's desk, but the game won't let me. It takes me straight up to the roof to battle the final boss. You can probably work out who it is. It's not Stephanie, that's a hint. It's Triple H, who else? It's time to play the game. It's kind of fitting, I suppose, that Triple H is the end boss, although of course if you're playing as him, you'd be fighting Austin at this point. Which is rather ironic, because in 2001, they were actually a tag team, known as the Two-Man Power Trip, which didn't last very long because Triple H went and injured himself. I think he tore his quad muscle. Anyway, enough about the wrestling, because now it's time for a fight. It's time to play the game. And we're going to read him a little bit of Austin 316. Which, by the way, reads, I just kicked your ass. And I'm hoping to. Unfortunately, this is just the same boss fight as it was with The Rock and The Undertaker, but we don't have a weapon, so it's a little bit harder. Also, his air is a little bit better, hence why he just cut me off from doing my finisher. And now we're going to punch and kick the air, as if wrestlers don't do that anyway in their proper profession. There we go. I'm trying to get in close to use a stunner. I'll try and finish. Oh, no. No, I don't want to be cornered. Get up there, Austin. Yes, talking to the cats in the game as if they're real. That's great. That's not cause to see a therapist at all. Oh, wow, that's... I may have him. Get stunned. Get wrecked. Yes. You are the game and you need 4 to 6 people to play him. Don't know where that came from. Oh, yeah. And when he said, by the way, this, I bet you the heavyweight title, he meant it. That just hurts my brain. Yes, we're the champion now because he bet the title and that apparently that fight on the roof was a title match. At least it ended better than the fight between Hulk Hogan and The Big Show in WCW when The Big Show fell off the roof. And we've become the WWF C Champion. They couldn't even spell champion right on this ending screen. God damn it, Way4, what did we pay you for? At least the Shantae series and DuckTales Remastered and any other game they made after this was far better. So yeah, that was WWF Betrayal. That sure was a thing, wasn't it? Okay, I'm being maybe a little bit harsh on it. As I say, it's not the worst beat 'em up in the world. I've played a lot of beat 'em ups, and the problem with the beat 'em up is they tend to be a bit samey. They tend to be more of the same thing and just the aesthetic changes and slight changes to the gameplay. But the gameplay for this is too simplistic. I like the idea of a beat 'em up starring wrestlers, although the character you go around beating up are kind of a strange choice. Also, Corey Ledesma, he works on the Next Generation wrestling games, like SmackDown vs. Raw, I think, for THQ. Well, this was developed by WayForward, but published by TFQ. THQ, who of course are now out of business. So yeah, it is what it is. It's just a simple little beat 'em up. I wouldn't ask you to go out of your way to go and get it. Matt Bozon, better known by his nickname of Higgs. I'm sorry, that joke was terrible. I wouldn't say go out of your way to go and play this. It is what it is. I'm not going to make the Bozon joke again because I already messed it up once before. So yeah, that was Let's Play WWF Betrayal. I hope you all enjoyed it. I kind of did. KGB worked in this game, that explains everything. Also, Chris Parks? Isn't he Abyss from TNA? Anyway, with that, we've come to the end of the credits, and we've come to the end of the game. So thank you very much for watching Let's Play WWF Betrayal in one sitting. I hope you enjoyed my mindless ramblings about wrestling and Warrior Land and other assorted subjects while I was trying to play through a simple beat 'em up. I've been Rainiac, and I'll see you, well, hopefully I'll see you next Friday for the Halloween special. Why my voice did that, I have no idea. Until then, bye for now.